want you to win the name.
First of all, I want to thank everybody for being here. Mazal Tov.
Mazel tov.
You know, it's crazy. My oldest son, Maor, he's almost 2 years old, but it really feels like we almost did this yesterday. So really happy to have everybody back over here. And I wanted to just share, Rachel and I, it was very meaningful for us. It was very important for us, very special to us, to name our second son, Yakir Ephraim. And I wanted to just share with you, in Yirmiyahu, Yirmiyahu was an incredible prophet, and he was an amazing Navi who, unfortunately, during his time, he witnessed the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash, and he was someone who kept delivering the message that we shouldn't worry about Nebuchadnezzar, we shouldn't do anything because Nebuchadnezzar is going to literally just rise and fall very quickly. And he was there during a very, very, very hard time in Jewish history, but his words were inspirational. His words were awesome. And some of the people that heard his words wound up joining Ezra and Nehemiah and wound up coming back from Bavel. And there's a pasuk, my high school rabbi, Rabbi Cherney, would say there's a famous song that was turned into a pasuk that says, Haben Yakir li Ephraim, im yelit sha'ashuim, ki midei dabri bo zachor eskarenu od, al ken hamu me'ai lo rachem al rachamenu ne'um Adonai. It says like this, Ephraim, my favorite son, you are a delightful child, that whenever I speak of him, I remember him more and more. Therefore, my inner self yearns for him. I will surely have rachamim, I will surely have kindness and mercy on him. These are the words of Hashem. So it's so perfect and so fitting because, as you know, Rachel and I really, our second son, our first son, just precious. Yakir, mamash, a delight, special. And Yakir Ephraim, my Zayda's name was Ephraim. And my Zayda, just to go through a few things, this is my mother's father. He was 6 or 7 generations of Yerushalmi generations living here in Israel. And he was a very, very, very special person. He was a mohel. That's who he was. That's what he did. He did easily over 50,000 britot around the world for 60, 70 plus years. As a matter of fact, at his eulogy about a year ago, if you've ever heard the name of Pesach Kron, so he got up there and he gave a hesped and said, I want to just say that, I want to just thank Rabbi Ephraim Rubin for teaching me Milah. And a few people got up and said, thank you for teaching me Milah, especially at a time that teaching someone else your profession, essentially in some world, not this world of course, could be viewed as creating competition, if you will. My grandfather never believed that. He believed in the opportunity of abundance, that we should spread the mitzvah, we should empower people, we should love people. And I have so many fond memories of going to my grandfather, Rabbi Ephraim Fischel Rubin, for Shabbatot, and he was Baal Koreh, and he was the Baal Shofar, and he taught me my Bar Mitzvah Parsha. He was a very, very, very special individual. I wanted to share with you something really special to me because I'm someone who's in music, I sing, I play guitar, I'm musical. My Zayda Ephraim, so his grandfather on his mother's side was Rav Moshe Rosenthal. This is someone who was a very special Baal Nes that lived in Meah Shearim back then. And Rav Moshe Rosenthal's great-great-great-great-great-grandfather was Rav Yechiel Michal of Zlotowitz. And who he was and who that was he was the eldest student of the Baal Shem Tov, and he actually wrote the nigun that the Baal Shem Tov asked that he sing to pass away to. So, very special individual who himself was a descendant of Rashi. And the fact that we can be in Yerushalayim and have this yichus and really connect to my grandfather. I just want to say also my first son is Maor Yehuda, and I had no idea when we named him that Yehuda was one of the many names of my grandfather also. So in one case we got to put in his name intentionally, in one case his name got to go in unintentionally. But what's really special, by the way, also is because Yakir Ephraim was born during Parshat Shlach. I mentioned this a little bit when we had our Seudah for Tamuz this past week. But one thing which is really incredible is when you look in Parshat Shlach, one of the things it talks about is it talks about that unfortunately 12 very important people were sent to go look and to go spy the land of Israel to see how they can best ascend to it. And unfortunately 10 of the people of the Meraglim that were sent, unfortunately they spoke Lashon Hara about the land and it caused an entire generation of Jews to perish from the earth. The 2 that were tzaddikim that literally spoke what they saw about the gift were 1, Kalev ben Yefuna, and 2 was Yoshua ben Nun. Yoshua ben Nun was from which Shevet? Ephraim. My father's Yoshua, coming from Shevet Ephraim. There were so many different connections that were really special, that really tied in beautifully. And Ephraim also, by the way, Yakir means a delight or precious, and that's exactly how we view him, and that's exactly how we view children. And Ephraim, the name itself, comes from the word fruitful, to multiply. You know, Rachel and I had really no idea if we were going to ever even get to have more than one child, even if we were going to have one child, but to have 2, now we're already in this like category that we literally, I looked around the other day and I see these 2 car seats in the back of my car. I'm like, what the heck is going on? When did this happen? This is like Children Palooza in my car. And it's wild. And it's so special. So at this point now, Hashem has blessed us. We are fruitful. We are so grateful. We're so thankful. We don't take it for granted. Ephraim also, the name fruitful means exactly what I believe in. That we have at this point now, Baruch Hashem, we live in a world where there's so many options, there's so many possibilities, there's so many choices, there's so many different things that we can do, that we can learn, that we can experience, that we can take part in. It's special. And all the children being born into the world right now have this access into Shefa, into everything that they want at their fingertips. So it's a very, very fruitful name. And wanted to just share also that, you know, Hashem always has his finger on things. You can always, when you look, you can always find it. And Maor Yehuda, my first son, was born on my birthday, June 30th. After 12 years, he was born on my birthday. So this June 30th, I'm going to be celebrating my 36th. Maor is going to be celebrating his 2nd. And then Yakir Ephraim was born on my dad's birthday, on June 11th. Come on. It's crazy stuff. Thank you, God, for making it so obvious how involved you are in all of our lives. And I really just want to end with just a few things, just a few key lessons that I've gotten so far out of parenthood and what that's about. And the first is, I'll never forget when I thought that I'm over here and, you know, I do this and I do this and I do this and I do this, and having a baby would just be sort of one more thing that I juggle up in the air, if you will. And it took me a little bit of a while to realize that on the contrary, it's my baby's over here and I'm one more ball in the air for him. It's not like that at all. As a matter of fact, the greatest lesson of parenthood is exactly what we experienced at our Rosh Chodesh Seudah that we had this past week, which is you got to be flexible. You got to just be flexible, because all of a sudden you think one thing's going to happen and pitom, oh, we're doing that instead. And it's been a very good lesson for us to learn flexibility, to learn to be flexible with everything. I want to just end off with this too, is there's a transformation that a parent goes through. And that's why there's a special bracha made when you have your first child, because essentially the parent goes from being a non-parent to being a parent. That's like a totally different identity. And that's why there's a special bracha that we say for the first child, because it causes someone who's a single parent to all of a sudden channel their energy over here to the future. So it's a real transformation. And as you know, Maor Yehuda for us has been a whole world. It's been a world for us. And I'll never forget, I was with a few friends at night and we were talking about this. We were talking about, well, what happens for the second child? So is that not a transformation? Why do we only make a bracha for the first child, for the Bechor? That's a transformation, but afterwards is not a transformation? And the answer is, yeah, exactly. It's a little bit less of a transformation, because here's what's really interesting. For the second child, and God willing for the third child, and the fourth child, and whatever comes next, what happens is it's not that transformation going from a non-parent to a parent. It's this new shift where you go from zooming out from Maor, who was this whole world for us, zooming out and going, wow, now we can love another human being, another child of ours, just like Maor. That's unbelievable. It's like this great zoom out where now there's 2. And just like we can never, Gesundheit, just like we can never, ever, ever diminish the light from the sun, so we can never diminish the light from my son, Maor. And that's exactly the point. That we get a second child to love and to raise and to appreciate, someone who's Yakir, someone who's valuable, someone who's special, someone who's precious. And I want to just give one little thing also that I saw in Yirmiyahu a little earlier, and I think it's really nice that it says this. It says, Bidchi yavohu v'tachanunim ovilem olichem al nachalei mayim b'derech yashar lo yikashlu ba ki hayiti liYisrael la'av ve'Ephraim bechori hu. For I have been a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn. So we get a firstborn of us, we get a firstborn of Hashem. We're doing pretty good here. And I want to thank every one of you for joining us. I want to thank my parents. I want to thank Rachel's parents. I want to thank all of our family and friends for your love, for your generosity, for your kindness. And I want to thank my Zayda for being an amazing role model in my life also. Yakir, Ephraim, I love you. Refuah Shlema. We'll get through this together. And B'tei Avon, everybody. Mazal Tov. Thank you.
Now stop your